Hey, check out this sick Auaha Makerspace t-shirt I just printed at the Auaha Makerspace. Watch the rest of this tutorial to find out how. For our t-shirt project, there's a few things we're going to need. First of all, we're going to need a t-shirt. So make sure you pick one up from somewhere nearby. Any t-shirt should work, but we recommend cotton. Now, there's a couple of options for our heat transfer material. We do stock this lovely printable heat transfer material here at Auaha for $6.50 a sheet. But today I'm actually going to be using this holographic heat transfer material. This is a type of vinyl, which is great if you're using a single color in your design. And here I have my vector graphic design loaded into Inkscape. We actually need to get this into a different program called Silhouette Studio. So I'll show you how to do that now. If we go to our layers, I'm just going to delete this background layer. But we should be still left with all of our white shapes here. Let me just select all of these. I'm going to ungroup them by hitting Ctrl-Shift-G. And now I have all of these paths. It's really hard to see them at the moment, so let's just change their color. I'm going to make that black. And I'm going to combine these together by going to Path, Union. This is ready to send to Silhouette Studio now. So all we need to do is go File, and then Save As. And the file type we want to save as is a DXF, so .dxf file, and we're going to use revision 12. So let's save that out, and we're ready to jump into Silhouette Studio. Now with our page set up correct, we're going to bring in our DXF file for our cutting graphics. So let's just drag that in from the File Explorer and drop it in here. Everything you can see in black is going to be something our cutting machine will plot out. I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller for my shirt, and this is probably a good time to measure on the shirt and see how big we'd like it to be. Alright, now is probably a really good time for us to go over to our t-shirt with our handy ruler and measure twice so that we can only cut once. So let's come over this way, and here is our size 5 child's t-shirt that we can measure. Okay, so we really only want our design to be sitting sort of in the middle, maybe about 15 centimeters, and in terms of height, probably 10 to 12 centimeters. Considering our heat transfer is 30 centimeters across, that means we can actually fit 2 of our designs along the width. Oh, hold on. Okay, so let's try and get 2 of these across the sheet so that we're making the most of our material. I can simply select this design and push Ctrl-D to duplicate. Then I'm going to start dragging to the right, hold Shift while I'm dragging to lock it to dragging in that direction, and drag it over until they're no longer overlapping. Next, I'm going to select both of these and simply scale down so they fit across the width of the sheet. There's one more thing I need to do, and that is to right click and select Flip Horizontally, and I'll explain why now. Alright, so taking a look at our heat transfer material, this is a type of vinyl that we're using here. It actually has 2 sides, and it's kind of hard to see that, but this shiny side you can see here with the nice glittery texture is actually a clear coat sitting over top of our heat transfer material. Whereas we're going to load it into the machine this way up, and we want our designs to be cut out on this side, so that when we take these out and transfer them onto our actual fabric, it will then be this way up, and that's how it should look. When you're ready to cut, simply find the Send tab in the top right corner. Let's click on that one. You can see in red it's showing everything that will be cut. All we need to do is select the kind of material we want to cut. So in our case we're using a heat transferable vinyl. Let's select somewhere in the list. We'll find heat transfer, and in my case I think I'll choose reflective. Now this is going to change a whole lot of settings such as my blade depth, force and speed. So I think this is all ready to go, so let's proceed to the next step. We've got all of our settings loaded in correctly now, so let's push send and see how the cutting machine gets on. In this case, it's going to ask us whether we need to mirror our design. We've already done that by flipping horizontally, so we'll send it as is. It's also going to ask us to install a special roll feeder, but we don't need to worry about that. Let's send it anyway. Here we have our Cameo 4 Pro cutting machine, and currently this machine is configured for our cutting mat, but we do not need to use the cutting mat today. So let's just flick this lever over here, and we're going to slide these little pieces so that this large roller is connecting with the width of our vinyl, something like this. Once we've got that in place, we can move this lever forward to lock the bar back down, and then we can align this edge here with the arrows and push this little button over here to load the machine. You can see that this is actually slightly out of line, and so the best thing to do is to simply lift up the bar again and rotate until you can see it's aligned with the strip down here. So that should be good to go. Let's move on to sending this to the machine. Coming over here, you can see our cutting machine hard at work. Cutting machine's finished cutting now, so all we need to do is push this little button over here to eject the cutting material. Now we're going to wander over this way with our weeding tools, and we'll take a look at what we've got. Weeding is the process of removing the unnecessary parts from our design. So as you can see, as we pull this up, we can start to find the cut edge, and we want to keep our original design stuck to this backing sheet while removing everything else. This can take a while, but be patient. I've just finished weeding my design, and so now it's good to go. Let's plant that on a t-shirt and get that pressed. Coming back to our t-shirt, we just need to put this exactly where we want it. And now you can see why it was important that we reversed it at the beginning. Slide a hand under your t-shirt, trying to keep your design in place. And let's put this into the heat press. Now, it's very important not to touch this part, as it is currently 190 degrees Celsius and will definitely burn. That being said, let's just slide our t-shirt in here, getting it nice and flat. Make sure your entire design is within this rectangle, and we're good to go. Okay, moment of truth. We're going to pull down the handle, and we're going to wait for 45 seconds. So we'll pull it up, and we can slide out our t-shirt. Now, let's just wait till it cools down just a tad, and then we should be ready to peel off our backing sheet. Leaving our heat transfer vinyl behind. And there we have it, a wonderful Auaha Makerspace t-shirt. Thanks for watching.